All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Denver Broncos in tonight's video. Probably the most slept on, underrated team in the entire National Football League. 5-3. They've won 5 out of their last 6 football games. Craziest part is Bo Nix is still improving on a week-to-week basis. We got a bunch of fun facts, or stats, I should say, for you guys. But this is a top 3 defense. They're well coached. They've won 5 out of their last 6, and just the best part is Bo Nix is literally improving week to week. So this past Sunday, taking down Carolina, I get it. It's Carolina. They're 1-7. It's not a good football team, offense or defensively this season. But just like we saw with the Cleveland Browns taking down Baltimore on Sunday, any given Sunday, right? Denver, season high 400 total yards of offense. They've actually now scored 61 points in the last 2 weeks. They scored 28 consecutive points after giving up that opening drive touchdown due to the fumble from Lil Jordan Humphreys. And, you know, Sean Payton, we're going to get into it in towards the end of the video. He wants to see better because you're going to play better teams, specifically the next 2 games against Baltimore and the Kansas City Chiefs. But they converted 9 of their first 10 third down attempts. Bo Nix was kept clean on 85% of his dropbacks, completed 28 of 37 passes for 284 yards and 3 passing touchdowns. He also had a rushing touchdown, earning a 90.2 passing grade for his efforts. PFF ranked him as the 3rd best QB from week 8. And this is crazy. We talked about this in our Sunday night recap. He became the first Broncos quarterback to win 5 starts as a rookie. He has also now completed 5 games this season without throwing an interception, all right? He's the real deal, and so are the Denver Broncos. Whether they're a 9-win team, an 8-win team, a 10-win team, personally, I think 10 wins should be what you're aiming for this season. I think like 7 of the last 10 teams that went 9-8 in the AFC have missed the playoffs. Pretty crazy. But no team who has won 10 and lost 7 in this new 17-game era has missed the playoffs. So 10's the mark for me. But we're talking about this Denver team. Welcome back to the channel. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. We post a lot of Broncos videos on a week-to-week basis on this channel, so hit that sub button if you haven't already. Broncos fans, love and appreciate you guys as always. You are so awesome. You really are. Not to glaze you, but if we could try and get this video to 250 likes, folks, that would mean the absolute world to me. One of the best metrics or statistics, I should say, that I saw this past weekend with Bo Nix is I think Sean Payton is letting him off the leash. He is loosening it a little bit. We're starting to see these deep shots. We're starting to see it at a better, more consistent rate. And, you know, we go back to like that Jets game where Bo Nix had like -7 passing yards at halftime or some crazy statistic like that. Folks, also, by the way, we'll talk about the defense in just a minute or two. The defense is going to keep you in every single football game. That's how good they truly are. But Bo Nix throws past the sticks versus Carolina. I get it. It's Carolina. They got a pretty decimated defense. 77.3% adjusted completion percentage, 215 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. But like Sean Payton said after that win, we're going to see better teams. So Denver right now is sitting here at 5-3. That's their best record through 8 games since back in 2016. 4 of their 5 wins this year have come by at least 14 points. None of their losses have been by more than a touchdown. So we go back to that. Yeah, the defense is going to keep you in every single football game. However, like Sean Payton said after the game, you know, the 2 turnovers, the 2 fumbles by Sortland and Humphreys, it has to be more efficient, right? Because you're playing better teams starting against Baltimore next weekend, and then the Kansas City Chiefs right after that. Big divisional game. Kansas City currently undefeated. Denver's 20th in the league in scoring at only 21.63 points per game. And they're also 30th in first downs per drive at just 1.4. So that means a lot of short possessions. And I'll use Javonte Williams as a good example, or the run game in general. Javonte, 17 carries for only 44 yards, averaging 2.6 yards per carry on Sunday. And as a team, the Denver Broncos ran the ball 32 times for only 102 yards, which is about 3.2 yards per carry. So we want to see more longer drives, pretty much, just to keep it simple. But we have to talk about this quote-unquote no-name defense, because the one player most people know is Pat Surtain, right? And he's back, and he just had an interception. In fact, the Broncos intercepted Bryce Young twice. Pat Surtain, and Jaquan McMillan. They sacked them twice, Jonathan Cooper, Nick Bonito, and they held the Panthers to only 6 of 18 on 3rd and 4th downs. Now, once again, I know it's Carolina, and it's also Bryce Young, and Bryce has had a really horrid start to the NFL season, but you still got to take care of business. Bonito's 4th quarter sack extended his streak this season. He now has 6 consecutive games with a full sack, which is the 3rd longest streak in franchise history. This stretch of games with at least 1 sack is currently the longest active streak in the NFL. They also have 80 total sacks. So, oh my God, that would be a freaking NFL history. Sorry. They have 30 total sacks in 8 games, and they're currently on pace for 64, which would be a franchise record. The time they had 52, which was their current franchise record, was all the way back in 2015. They've also now forced 12 turnovers over 8 games. Last season, they had 5 total games where they did not force a turnover. So this year, they only have 2 where they have not forced a turnover, and they were both losses against Pittsburgh and the Chargers. So it's not perfect, but for the most part, the defense, every single game you've played has put you in a position to win that game. But the reason I want to bring up turnovers is just because a team like Baltimore, they barely turn the ball over. But then your week after that against Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes and this Chiefs offense has been a little bit sloppy at times, specifically Mahomes. So what I want is to win one of them. I don't know, Baltimore's coming off that embarrassing Cleveland loss. They just traded for Deontay Johnson like an hour ago. Kansas City probably will still be undefeated. Denver's got to win one of those games. They have to, all right? Finally, the special teams unit, another punt downed at the 1-yard line. That's the 4th time this season. Crazy stat here. That's the most, or ties the mark for the most such plays by an NFL team in a season since 2000. The last time the Broncos even had 2 punts downed at the 1-yard line was back in 2017. They're at 4. And then quick player promo here. Zach Allen, amongst all interior defensive linemen this season, 21 stops, number 1 in the NFL, 9 tackles for loss, number 1 in the NFL, 39 pressures, number 1 in the NFL, and 4 total sacks, which is tied for 2nd. So yeah, this defense is legit. Bo Nix in the offense is looking more legit as the weeks progress. Really curious to see what Denver does here. I would prefer to make a move offensively if they do decide to make a trade. I'm thinking a tight end. A guy like Njoku would be unbelievable, or even a slot receiver, because I just think they need another body, another big-time playmaker in that wide receiver room. Thank you guys so much for watching. That's all I got. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Let me know your thoughts on this Broncos team down below. Give me how many wins are you finishing with? We'll see you guys later. Peace.